Let's be real for a minute here. The idea of a stable career is a lie. You were told, grow up, get a degree, find a good company, and stick it out for 40 years. But now you're 25 years old, applying for entry-level jobs that want 5 years of experience, watching friends get laid off 6 months into their job, wondering if you missed something. You didn't. The truth is, careers are dead. Or at least, they're not the same as what they used to be. The ladder is gone. The map is outdated. The tutorial didn't prepare you for this. And if you want to survive and win, you need to think differently. If you do the same thing as everyone else, you're going to get the same results. Let me show you how you can think differently. I want to start this video off with a couple statistics that I have compiled here that I have seen on Twitter. So in 2023, Google cut 12,000 jobs, which is the biggest layoff in its history. Amazon laid off over 27,000 workers since 2022, including in HR, Alexa, and AWS. Facebook let go of 21,000 employees in multiple waves across 2023 and 2024. Spotify slashed 17% of its total workforce in December 2023 to quote-unquote cut cost and restructure. If the biggest companies in the world are cutting jobs left and right, what does that say about the quote-unquote safe career path that they sold us? In this video, I want to dive into, in my opinion, why careers are dead and what you can do to protect yourself a little bit to this new career path. And the thing is, I'm not going to sit here and say that every single job is bad because they're not. There are good jobs and there are high income skills and there are good career paths, but the path is different than it used to be. You can't just get a Amazon warehouse job and you're guaranteed to work there for 40 years. The fact of the matter is, most people are replaceable, especially with the AI stuff. So the first thing I want to touch on is the career ladder that you were sold growing up was replaced by a maze. The old model was a ladder, straight, structured, and upward. You just climb it. You climb the ladder, you get your yearly raises and things like that. Now it's a maze. There's no map. There's no guarantees, just constant pivots. We were told growing up that job hopping is bad. And, do I agree to that to some extent? Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't job hop for no reason. But there's always context to the job hoppers, right? Lifelong job security is gone. Even quote-unquote safe corporate jobs are volatile. And staying at one company too long can hurt your growth now. So you're not on the quote-unquote career ladder that was told to you. You're in the maze. But if you learn to navigate it properly, you can win. And the first and main way I would say you can win is your skills. Quite frankly, skills are the new currency. The way I think of this is you're an RPG character, right? You get dropped into the new game. You don't win by picking a job class, right? You win by leveling up your skills. The more flexible and valuable you are, the more options you unlock. Companies, they care about degrees, but they don't care as much as they do about value. The fact of the matter is, and this is coming from someone who has a 4-year degree. I have a bachelor's degree in business, and I learned way more about business by actually running a small business than I did about sitting in business classes. And companies know this. Companies care about a degree in the sense of they care that someone can show up to class for 4 or 5 years straight, get homework done, turn up on time, and have attendance. Companies care about that. But if you can come to a company and have more value than someone who has a degree, you can absolutely outcompete them. For sure, regardless of what you're doing, whether that's a business analyst, whether that's sales, whether that's marketing, whether that's, something to do with anatomy and things like that. Like, I know a lot of people who have solved businesses think about like all of the doctors and stuff that are on the internet. Like, there are many people who are taking healthcare and holistic approaches to medicine in their own hands, and they're selling things or they're selling their selves, whether that's like, physical therapy, whether that's, psychological stuff like therapy. Like, there's like the whole marketplace is different than it used to be. Back in the day, if you wanted to get therapy, you had to like find someone and go to a specific building and talk to them. Now, like, you could just go straight to the person and they could do it over a Zoom call, right? That person has the skills to market themselves better than the others. Right? So the fact of the matter is AI is replacing tasks, but it's not replacing people who know how to think and use AI in the correct way. So you need to learn skills that are going to be those high income skills: sales, marketing, coding, communication, problem solving. Those skills are going to be the currency you need to thrive in a career. And the fact of the matter is, there's nothing wrong with staying in a company for a long period of time, especially if that company treats you well, pays you well, and truly appreciates you. That's fine. But don't ever get too comfortable in the sense of like you stop leveling up your skills. You stop thinking of other ways to make money. Because like I said, the fact of the matter is, you are replaceable to some extent. Everyone is replaceable to some extent. And you have to think of your degree as a receipt. Like I said, I have a degree and I don't regret going per se, but my skills and what I bring to the table is my true value, not just the piece of paper. And another point I wanted to make is you don't need a career, you need a mission. So many people, and I've noticed this especially with the younger generation, so many people get caught up in the fact of like, you go on social media and you see this person who's been working in a career for 20 years and they look so happy. There's nothing wrong with wanting a linear career or wanting to stay in the same thing, but you don't need a career, you need a mission, right? Like careers are like a vehicle, right? And your mission is a destination. So you shouldn't sit there saying, you know what? I want to be a doctor so I can make 200 grand, right? Your mission should be, I want to be a doctor so I can help people, right? Or like, you don't want to say, oh, I want to be this because of the money. Like you should have an actual mission for why I want to do something. One of the reasons I got into landscaping, especially in my early 20s, was not only because I could make good money in a day, but also because I genuinely enjoyed the work. Like I felt accomplished at the end of the day. You pull up to a house, you pull up to a business, they want stuff done. They want, the beds cleaned out. They want them edged. They want a mulch installed. They want the plants installed, right? They want an entire cleanup of the property. Maybe they want, the grass fertilized. Like when you do, maybe they want the walkways power washed. When you do all this work for them and it's done at the end and you're taking pictures of it, you feel accomplished and they walk out and they happily give you their money. The people will happily give you their money if you can solve their problems. And that applies to a business and that also applies to a job. If a job is hiring a software engineer and you truly enjoy being a software engineer and you're very good at it, they'll happily give you their money. They will. And I think you guys need to realize that, yes, careers are different than they used to be. And it does seem like, companies are like, they seem a little bit more superficial nowadays. Like, how many years experience do you have? Like, have you done this? Have you done that? Have you worked in this industry? And I do think companies should focus more on like actual human personal skills. Like, how determined is someone? Do they have problem solving skills? What's their attitude like? My father ran a restaurant for many years. He was the GM of a restaurant for about 25 years, and he has interviewed hundreds of people. And even he has said all the time, like, you should really focus on like just someone who shows up to the interview, is dressed well, and seems enthusiastic, at least somewhat, about like wanting to get the job. And I think there's some merit in that. I mean, I think the game has changed a little bit, but at the same time, I think that if you want a career, that's fine, but show up, do a good job, and just take into account that you should focus on your mission, which is the destination of where you want to be, whether that's your goals, and the career is the vehicle to get there. Like, you're not tied directly to just your job. If you lose your job, it doesn't make you any less of a person. You guys need to realize that, because we've all been laid off at some point before. And if you haven't, you probably will at some point in your life. And the thing is, careers end, but missions evolve. And so, yeah, I mean, careers are dead, guys, but that doesn't mean you're screwed. It means you're free. There's no more waiting for promotions. There's no more depending on a system that's proven it doesn't care. You can build your own path, create your own brand, stack real skills. If you're in a job right now and you're trying to get a promotion, I'm not saying you shouldn't get that promotion, because you probably should. But what I am saying is always think of ways outside of work to help people solve problems and get value or provide value to people. Because the fact of the matter is, you will always be replaceable to some extent. A brief story of mine is at a previous sales job I had in the past, I was trying really hard to get a promotion, and I was exceeding my quota number. I was crushing sales goals. I was the top SDR on my team, and I was, I had a one-on-one meeting with my boss and basically was told I was going to get promoted. I was told that I was going to get stock and all this stuff, and boom, 2 weeks later, I got laid off. So, even I got fired when I was told I was going to get more. So guys, once again, you're always going to be replaceable to some extent. Should you aim to do well in your job? Sure. But you shouldn't like go above and beyond if they're not taking care of you, right? That's with anything in life. Imagine if you had a friend or you had a partner like in a relationship and you did a bunch of stuff for them and they did nothing for you. Like you wouldn't like feel good about that, right? So am I saying that all jobs are bad or all careers are bad? No. But what I am saying is focus on your mission, not just your career, and focus on building high income skills outside of your job as well. You can build your own path, create your own brand, because this economy does not reward employees. It rewards builders. So I'm curious, guys, what's one skill you're focusing on learning this year that could potentially replace 95 or give you supplemental income? And, what would your life look like if you stopped trying to climb and started to carve your own lane? Drop your answers in the comments. I want to hear where you're at. I really want to engage with my audience and hear what you guys think. If this video hits something inside you, if you resonate a lot with this, definitely consider subscribing. So I'm going to have more videos like this. And, we're here to talk about this type of stuff and help you guys out. So we're building real weapons here and we're just getting started. Talk to you guys soon.